Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And on his second day in office, Donald Trump announces a $500 billion private sector investment into helping the United States become the front runner with AI. Why I showed that is because what we're going to see now is CNN having a meltdown over everything that nobody cares about. They don't get it. I keep saying it every day, and they just will never get it, apparently. They talk about everything that the voter of this country doesn't care about. They're over it. They don't care about Donald Trump's tweets. They don't care about how he talks. They don't care about Donald Trump trying to make money on a meme coin. No one cares. They don't care that Donald Trump pardoned the January 6ers. Nobody cares. You know who cares about that? His diehard base wanted that for 4 years. I'll get into what I think about the whole thing as they talk about it in their unhinged fashion. We're going to hear from David Axelrod. We'll hear from Van Jones. We'll have Anderson Cooper. Yes, he's a Vanderbilt worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll hear from him, and we'll hear from unhinged Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren. Let's go.
I mean, David, it was a fascinating window on, clearly he's very happy to be back in the Oval Office, yes. Very happy to be back on TV. You can imagine him saying a lot of those things every day in Mar-a-Lago over the last 4 years to assemble guests time and time again.
I think also
he's referring to Donald Trump's basically rolling press conference he had in the Oval Office as he was signing executive order after executive order, like he was doing in front of 25,000 people at a packed hockey arena, which is something we will never see again. A president signing executive orders inside of a hockey arena packed with supporters. Basically, every time he signs one, he holds it up like this, and it's like he scored a goal. It was amazing. We're never going to see anything like this again from a president, most likely, in our lifetimes. So enjoy it. Even if you don't like Donald Trump, are you not entertained? So let's keep going with these people who are just going to lose it more and more as this segment goes on.
He said, gee, did Biden do this? As in, I think he wanted to set a contrast with Biden, by going sort of having this rolling press conference.
We rarely have seen something like that of a president just riffing from the...
Yeah, and and there's a reason for it, because the words of a president can actually send armies marching and markets tumbling and have real consequences.
Stop it, David. You're scaring everybody.
I actually think it's refreshing for presidents to be,
able
I was
to speak.
Among those who was critical of the lack of exposure of President Biden. And
lack of exposure? They hid him away because he couldn't be out in public. That's what I mean. This is dishonest. It's framed dishonestly. It's nothing new for CNN, though. That's why the only people watching them are people like me who create content, and probably David Axelrod, Van Jones, Anderson Cooper, their friends and family. It's about it.
I think it's good for presidents to be exposed. It's better if they tell the truth when they're doing it. And as Daniel just said, a lot of that wasn't there. But we ought to focus on the sort of headline issue here. There are a lot of consequential things he did, but that ceremony today was in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. Everybody here remembers what happened there 4 years ago.
And no one cares.
That mob came through. Everybody remembers the gallows. Everybody remembers the chants. Everybody remembers the assault on 160 police officers. Is that the number? And basically, he said those people were hostages. I saw him today at his rally in front of a group of families of Israeli hostages who were taken by Hamas in Gaza, and he talked about freeing the January 6th hostages.
That's what David Axelrod's worried about, the language. Meanwhile, how did those people become hostages in Gaza? That was under Joe Biden's stewardship, correct? How did they come out, finally? Yeah, the day before Donald Trump is sworn in, they get out. You know why? Because Donald Trump is the one who said, if they're not out by the time I get inaugurated, they will be hell to pay. Joe Biden didn't do a thing to get those people out. They would still be there. You know how many died while they were being held in captive? How many? I think there was 11 or so that 6 months ago were alive and they are no longer alive. Nothing about, oh, Donald Trump. Thanks for getting those people out, Donald Trump. Before you even came into office, you got them out. Thank you very much. And Joe Biden, thank you very much for allowing them to get taken in the first place, you fool. It's amazing. It's framed so dishonestly. That's what I mean. This is TDS on full display.
These are not hostages. These are people who either confessed or were convicted of crimes related to marauding the Capitol to try and stop the lawful process of certifying an American election.
Let me ask you something. No one was ever charged with insurrection. Haven't every one of those people who were arrested and thrown in jail, haven't they served enough time already? How much time were they supposed to serve for whatever they did on January 6th? Nobody had a weapon. Nobody killed anybody. I don't care what they say. Nobody killed anybody other than Capitol Police, who killed 2 people. Haven't these people been in jail long enough? Isn't this excessive, these sentences? Yes, they are.
Only defense that I can think of for this action today is that those people went there because they were told an abject lie by the President of the United States that the election had been stolen and that something improper was happening. And so, in some ways, maybe I'm not.
My mother always said, if somebody told you to jump off a bridge, would you? The only person, apparently, the only politician who has the power to talk and then people just go and do things like, Donald Trump said, go to the Capitol. I'm going to go to the Capitol. No, that's the only person, Donald Trump. Anything anybody on the left says, any Democrat says, no, that didn't cause anybody to do anything. Their rhetoric never fuels anything. Their rhetoric never fans the flames of anything. Just Donald Trump. He's the only person, apparently, on the planet or in politics that has the ability with his rhetoric to make people go and do something. That's it, just Donald Trump.
Suggesting this was his motivation, but you could justify it by saying, well, he lied to them and tricked them into going there under false pretenses because they thought it was their...
Because you're a moron. You were tricked. You were tricked into going there.
...patriotic duty. So maybe they should get some consideration for that. Many of them have said that they went there because he told them to do that. But
yeah, maybe they were looking for an excuse because guess what? Once the federal government sinks their claws into you, good luck defending yourself. You can't outspend them. It's impossible. A lot of those people were begging for mercy. A lot of them did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong other than show up and maybe walk escorted into that Capitol building and did nothing, did not commit one act of violence, and they've been sitting in prison. It's a disgrace.
I'll tell you, what are the consequences of this? If people are told that you can engage in rioting, insurrections, attack police officers.
Wasn't an insurrection.
And so on, and the President of the United States will call you hostages and free you. It's a hell of a way to start.
They're worried about the police officers that were attacked, and that was because Donald Trump is saying it's okay because they were referred to as hostages for doing that. The rhetoric from Barack Obama when it came to police officers has resonated to this day. Barack Obama's rhetoric has led to this war on police that is still raging. And you'll never hear a word from these people. Barack Obama had Al Sharpton in the White House when he was president. He had Black Lives Matter in the White House when he was president. These people were outwardly calling for violence against police officers. I am so sick and tired of Democrats standing on this soapbox with January 6th like they could care less about police officers. They don't, and nobody's buying it anymore. And the cops that they roll out to go on television, you know what? I'll keep my mouth shut, but take it for what you will.
Next 4 years.
Yeah, look, I was prepared for shock and awe. This is just shock and awful. As far as I'm
Good one, Van Jones. You write that one all by yourself?
concerned. I mean, if David is 100% right, this could be interpreted by some people as a green light for right-wing political violence. That's not his intention, but it could be interpreted that way.
It's interpreted that way by morons like you.
Because why do you put people in jail? 3 reasons. You want to incapacitate dangerous people, you want to punish people for doing bad stuff, and you want to deter people from doing the same thing again.
This man, a Democrat and left Democrat, is actually looking into a camera and he's talking about laws that are supposed to stop people from committing crimes and put them in jail and let them stay in jail. The Democrats have freed more criminals into this country, not only across the southern border, but ones that were incarcerated. And now they just don't get incarcerated. You go punch a cop in the face in New York City, you're out before the paperwork's even done. Hey guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe. I do one video a day at least. If I don't do one video, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control and I couldn't get it done. But please like, share, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I appreciate it. No, with the no cash bail, with all of the laws that Democrats passed, and you have Van Jones on national television talking to us like he's this law enforcement hawk. It is absolutely incredible.
It looks like the federal government is no longer in the deterrence business when it comes to right-wing political violence.
What right-wing political violence? I'm not noticing anybody from the right wing who's out on the streets and wearing masks all the time, carrying sticks and burning American flags. Those aren't right wing. This is such a fake narrative. And now that disgraceful Christopher Wray is out at the FBI, maybe we could set the record straight finally.
That is scary to me, and I am a criminal justice fanatic. I love to see people coming out of prison.
Right, you like to see people getting out. Oh, by the way, First Step Act, you know who passed that? Donald Trump, Van Jones. Remember, you were actually a part of that. Remember that? No, but you never talk about it. Donald Trump did what Barack Obama didn't do, what Joe Biden didn't do. But Donald Trump is the one who actually helped you with criminal justice reform. Remember that? Letting people out of jail, which is what you like to do.
But usually, when somebody comes out of prison, it's not right after they beat up a cop. Maybe they did
yes, it is, actually. I guess you haven't been paying attention.
something else, and there's some idea that they've confessed, they've apologized, they've rehabilitated themselves, they've done some action, and then we say, now you get a second chance. This is a very dangerous thing that happened tonight, among many others. This is not shock and awe, it's shock and awful.
With me now is Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. Let me ask you about
Pocahontas herself, everybody.
what you think of these pardons and commutations of the January 6th.
Look, it attacks the very foundation of our democracy.
We are not a democracy. We are a republic. We are not a democracy. And if you're a conservative, stop using that word when you describe this country. Stop buying into the language and utilizing the language that the left forces down your throat. We are a republic. We are not a democracy. I don't care if Donald Trump says it. I don't care who says it. I can't stand it.
Daddy, chill. Because it tries to whitewash what was clearly an insurrection.
No one was charged with insurrection. Not one person. And again, this is what I'm talking about. The left and the media will pick words. This is right out of the playbook, ladies and gentlemen. Saul Alinsky. They pick words and they say it until it becomes verbatim. And people just say it now without thinking. An insurrection. It was not an insurrection. No one was charged with insurrection, and certainly nobody was convicted of insurrection.
People died from that. Property was destroyed.
Yes, 2 people died on that day. One was shot, an unarmed woman. Her name was Ashley Babbitt, and she was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer named Lieutenant Michael Byrd, who was never charged or even brought before a grand jury.
People were injured. Police officers trying to...
You don't care about police officers. Stop acting like you do. You don't. You're using them like you always do.
defend the democratic process died. And
Nobody died. Not one police officer died as a result of January 6th. One died the next day. His death could not be tied to anyone at January 6th. Believe me, if they could have tied it to somebody there or multiple people there, they would have, obviously.
idea that now Donald Trump and his Republican friends are just coming in and trying to whitewash the whole thing and pretend not only did it never happen, it was nothing but a picnic.
Nobody said it didn't happen. He just freed the people who've been sitting in prison since it happened.
And that's just not going to work.
He seems to have a lot of new friends, too, who appeared today. I'm wondering what you made of what you think the message President Trump was trying to send by having, Tim Cook, Jeff Bezos, obviously Elon Musk, all the others, Zuckerberg, front and center in the rotunda, right next to, across the aisle from former presidents, and what message it actually sends to you.
So here we go. This relates back to the first part of this video where Donald Trump made that announcement. Suddenly the Democrats, first of all, the only time they like billionaires is when they're their donors, right? Now, since the billionaires aren't donating to them anymore, they have zero use for them. So they're going to try to trash them anytime they can now, okay? So these people want government to provide everything. They want the government to get us into AI. You think that's going to work, everyone? If the government was in charge of cell phones, you know this, you'd be carrying a cell phone. Basically, it would be like something an astronaut wears on his back, and it would have a wire still coming in. That's what this cell phone would be now if the government was in charge of developing the cell phone.
I think there was a double message. I think one message is pay to play. You know, you want to be Donald Trump's friend? Write a check.
George Soros, anyone?
Buy some Bitcoin, whatever. But I think the second message is really who this government is going to work for. Front and center right there. It's going to work for the billionaires. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump made a lot of promises while he was running, and he said he was really going to help out American families. And American families have a lot to complain about on how expensive life has become, on how challenging it has become.
Yes, and
but he gave that whole speech
under who did that happen, Liz Warren? Under who did that happen? Joe Biden. That's who it all happened under. By the way, how long has Liz Warren been in government? Somebody look that up. How long is Liz Warren? It's been a long time. Liz Warren, you've been around a senator for a while too, haven't you? How come you haven't fixed any of these problems? Well, I love all these people. Donald Trump's been in politics basically for 4 years. Now he's in it again under power for 4 years. Now he's starting to be under power again. But Donald Trump has caused all the problems that this country faces: the $37 trillion in debt, the skyrocketing inflation, the not being able to buy a house, not being able to buy a car for how many people in this country, having to work 2-3 jobs just to put food on the table, just to pay your rent. Who caused all those problems? Liz Warren?
And boy, he wanted to talk about renaming the Gulf of Mexico. He wanted to talk about taking back the Panama Canal. But
which we should.
Where was the discussion of housing prices?
He's been in office for 36 hours at the time you're talking about. Not even. When they were talking about this, I think the man had been in office for 7 hours.
Where did he really talk about what he wants to do on healthcare? Where was even something about the junk fees that people have to live with and the way they're fleeced by giant financial companies? None.
What do we mean, the ones who donate to you, to your campaign?
Of that. So flood the zone with everything else, but the very heart of what the American voter told us they wanted, and that is someone who would fight for them and fight for their economic security, just wasn't there.
So Liz Warren, again, they hate billionaires now. They have zero use for them at this point because now they're all with Donald Trump. About not even 2 years ago, that Liz Warren would never go on a rant like that against just blanketing billionaires as the worst people on the planet. By the way, Anderson Cooper is worth anywhere, they say, from $50 million to $200 million. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt. His mother, maybe you heard of her. Her name is Gloria Vanderbilt. Look up the Vanderbilt family, everybody. See how much that family's worth. These people are full of crap. So as we always do, I'll watch this for you, and I try to make it more entertaining and tolerable as it goes along. Because believe me, just to sit there and watch it, like when I watch it at least, usually about one time before I put the video up, just so I'm prepared. And a lot of times I don't remember everything I saw, so I'm going on a fly right there to react to it. I'm trying to make it more interesting and tolerable and fun to watch for you. And yes, I get animated, but that's because otherwise it's just drivel. There's nothing there other than I hate Donald Trump. That's how just twisted these people have become. And he's been president for 2 days now, and they are losing it already. Everything he said he was going to do, he's doing. There have been no surprises, and they're still flipping out. This is 2 days. 2 days. They haven't learned a thing. And if the Republicans can get these bills passed within the first 100 days to bring down the cost of everything, seal the border, they will win in a landslide in 2026 and increase their majorities because these Democrats have learned nothing. Nothing. The media has learned nothing. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.